Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. Nick Marro here with Smitty, helping you break down tonight's NBA DFS main slates on both DraftKings and FanDuel. For some of you, this is the second time you're seeing me today. I did get the MLB season kicked off earlier, but yeah, now we got to shift gears quickly, get into NBA mode. We got 6 games over on DK, 8 over on FanDuel. A lot of news we're still waiting on. Smitty, what's your initial take on this one?
Yeah, seems like an all right slate. We've definitely had better, but still money to be made.
That's the spirit, man. I feel you. First day MLB baseball's exciting, but we gotta keep the NBA grind going. The season's almost over. Jose, Unicorn, appreciate you being here. Ben Jizzy, Keith as well. The gang's all here. Or we're missing a few, but I'm sure they'll file in. But let's get into this game by game. We got a lot to get through. First game on the slate, we have the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Orlando Magic. 218-point total here. Excuse me, close enough total. Excuse me. AD's listed as questionable, but I did see a report that said he was expected to play today. We do need to keep an eye on that, but I'm going to assume he's in. No Exum, Gafford, Kyrie, Lively, Maxine Prosper, PJ's out. Then Williams and Caleb Martin are both questionable. So yeah, obviously against Orlando, never get too excited. AD doesn't look terrible though. We have him for only 29 minutes, but on a slate where there's not a lot of quality payups, and PJ Washington's out, I think there's a case to be made for him. I don't know that I get there. I'm only playing a handful of NBA lineups tonight, but yeah, he's starting to get into playable territory. If he isn't available, Najee Marshall looks really solid here as well. The price is up on him in a big way. Tough to get excited about that. But yeah, I mean, some of these secondary pieces that are getting no love at all, like there are some good guards on this slate, but Dinwiddie's been playing really solid basketball. Kai Jones probably going to get the start here next to AD. Even in limited minutes, I think he could hit value. He's been a tournament play I've been super bullish on lately. Not as interested in the matchup today, but do think I still want to mix him in. Smitty, first game on the slate. Are you getting too much Dallas?
I actually crossed them all out of my pool. Just not
Nice.
interested at all. Like AD would probably be the only one I would have any interest in, but I'm just not going to play anyone there.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those slates where there's certain teams you can kind of get away from, and with the uncertainty of AD, I do feel you. I get it. Over on the Orlando side of things, though, pretty interesting spot here. No Cole Anthony or Jalen Suggs. Still very thin in that backcourt. No Mo Wagner either. Banchero getting a lot of love here, as he has been for the past few weeks. Been playing really well. Wagner, very similar play, a little bit cheaper, maybe not quite the same ceiling, but also a little bit easier to build around. Those two look exceptional. Anthony Black starting to get love from the field. Still going to come off the bench, I think, behind Corey Joseph, but he's been playing the best basketball of his career. So to me, probably Anthony Black, the easiest play to get to here. I do like Paulo and Franz. Don't think you can get them both in the same lineup. But those are the three I really have interest in. And Wendell Carter's had some big games. He's just so inconsistent. I think there are other centers I prefer to play. But Banchero, Wagner, Black, fine with me. How about you, Smitty?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. They're fine to get to. None of them really seem like priorities, but they're okay plays. Anthony Black is who I'm getting to the most of on DraftKings. There's just not a lot of cheap value, and he kind of makes things work. But I'd be fine getting away as well.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Again, in first game on the slate, if we get some of this other news to open up, we could see even better value. But as things stand right now, Anthony Black does look really solid. Next game on the board here, we have the Pacers taking on the Wizards. So, starting on the Indiana side of things, pretty straightforward. No Jackson or Jackson, a couple G Leaguers listed. They're getting healthy. TJ McConnell missed some time. It looks like he's back. Not that he's going to see a ton of minutes behind Halliburton and Nemhard. Hallie's been playing excellent. The price has been coming up on him a little bit, but I still think I'm fine getting to him consistently over 50 fantasy points, which is what you want to see for a guard around that price range. Don't mind maybe mixing in Siakam Turner. Other than that, not a team I'm super bullish on, but I do think Halliburton's underowned on both sides. A little bit surprised he's not getting more love in this matchup. Smitty, how are you handling the Pacers here?
Yeah. Let me see. For the Pacers, it's mainly Miles Turner is who I like the most here, but I don't know. This seems like a pretty good game environment to get into, but the Pacers are just kind of priced effectively, so it's hard to really get too much into it. But I think Turner's my favorite on DraftKings.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, he's been pretty solid. Slow start yesterday, I think it was, but he did end up getting there. Started getting hot from three. Whenever your center's getting hot from three, that's a pretty good feeling. Over on the Wizard side of things, so this is tricky. A lot of moving parts. We're seeing a ton of ownership going to these guys, but I don't know if it's going to hold. Sadiq Bey, Malcolm Brogdon, Koulibaly, Kaishan George, Corey Kispert all out, as is Marcus Smart and JT Thor. They are getting Chris Middleton back tonight, which is probably going to shake up the starting lineup. The starting lineup I'm looking at right now is Poole, Carrington, Middleton, Champagny, and Sar. So I'm fine getting to Sar. He's been playing kind of limited minutes, but still crushing in them. And this is a pretty decent matchup for him, so I don't mind that. AJ Johnson as a starter has been excellent, but I do think there's a world where he goes to the bench if Carrington and Middleton are going to start. So that's something I want to keep an eye on. If Johnson starts, I think the ownership's fine. I'll still get to him a bunch. But coming off the bench, I would proceed with some caution. I don't know that he gets to 28 minutes. But again, something we need to keep an eye on. Champagne in the projected starting lineup getting no love at all. Don't mind going to him a little bit as a way to get different in tournaments. But yeah, Colby Jones, who I know you're a fan of, probably coming off the bench, but still dirt cheap. You can mix him in. Talented player if he gets hot. Could be a good night for him. And then Vukcevic, almost certainly not going to start here. We did see him have a huge game against Philly yesterday off the bench, but I am a little bit afraid to go back knowing that he can be DNP'd on any given night. So yeah, if Johnson starts, I like him. I do like Saar regardless. But kind of a tricky team, but again, a pretty decent game environment. Smitty, are you getting too much Washington right now?
I am, but all of it's like relative to change depending on the starting lineup. I feel like they could throw whatever out there. This isn't really a game that they even need to try and tank because they're just going to lose anyways. So I
Yeah.
do feel pretty good about Sar. I like Sar on both sides. I think he's my favorite option here. That's who I'm getting the most of. And then it just depends on the starters for me. Like if we get a surprise Vucevic start or something like that, they become pretty good plays. But we'll have to see. I think Champagny, if he starts, he has a really solid floor with his rebounding. But I don't know. Kobe Jones is in play, even coming off the bench. Same with AJ Johnson. Like they're cheap enough where, and they have ceilings. I don't mind taking shots there.
Yeah, I'm with you. Again, it's a team that's been mixing it up a lot, though. So the starting lineup is going to matter a lot here. So obviously keep an eye on that. But regardless, we're going to be getting to SAR. I will get to chat, guys. Just one more game in the 7 o'clock Eastern window. Let's knock this out. We get the Spurs taking on the Cavs on the San Antonio side of things. No Wemby, Fox, Duke, Bassey, pretty much the guys who are always out. Other than that, they're kind of healthy. Obviously, not a good matchup for them here. But yeah, speaking of Champagne, the other one, Julian getting some love. I don't think he's going to start, but he has been playing pretty well. He is very cheap. Don't mind mixing him in. Not a priority for me, though. Castle and Vassell are the two, I don't know, plays with upside, I'd say. Even so, against Cleveland, I don't know that I'm rushing there. I will say if So Chan were to suddenly get back into the starting lineup, I'd have a lot of interest. I don't think we can really expect him to, though. They've been going to Biyombo and Barnes in that front court. So not much here I like from San Antonio. Smitty, how about you?
Yeah, pretty gross spot when you're what is it, like 15 and a half point spread. But like you said, Champagny probably gets a blowout run as well, maybe. So I think he's okay. That's who I'm getting the most of. And then like Castle, Sohan are okay to mix in. And then like deep GPPs, if you're looking for someone like a cheap punt, I don't mind getting to Blake Wesley. Probably gets blowout run as well, running the point.
Yeah, so if you're leaning into the blowout, you can maybe get to some of the value here. I forgot to mention Keldon Johnson. The model actually thinks he looks decent, but again, it's a tough team to project minutes on, especially when they're relatively healthy. Obviously, not as healthy as they could be with no Wemby or Fox. Over on the other side of this game, we have no Evan Mobley for the Cavs. Obviously, that's going to be significant. Ty Jerome just got ruled out as well. Usually, a guy we look to when one of the starters are out. So the Cavs do look pretty good here. Obviously, we're a little bit concerned about the spread, but almost every game that Mobley's been out, Jared Allen seems to go off. I think on DK especially, he's probably my favorite Cav. Going to probably see a little bit of extra usage for the likes of Mitchell, Struess, and Garland. They're already starters, already kind of priced where they should be. I think they're fine plays, but I think Allen is really the priority. I will throw DeAndre Hunter's name up here as well because he is the most likely to slide into the starting lineup. Really haven't seen much of a ceiling from him. but one could say he's due. I hate to really use that phrase. But yeah, sliding in the starting lineup, model actually rating him as the best value on this team. So probably should have some interest in Hunter. But for me, I'd rather get to Allen if I could find the salary. You can make a case for any of the starters, though, Smitty. How much Cleveland are you getting to right now?
Yeah, I'm getting to a lot. Not really by choice. It's just kind of what I'm getting right now. Like, I don't like that it's a 16-point spread, but at least they're the favorite here. So, Jared Allen to me is my favorite. I like playing him. FanDuel, you get the power forward eligibility, which is nice. Hunter and Struess, their minutes became a lot more secure with Jerome out, which definitely helps, and Mobley out. But I don't know. This is a team that I'm getting to. I can't say I love it, but it's a good spot on a slate where there's not a ton of them.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Let's get to some of these comments here. Mike shouts out saying, let's get it. Jose, last night you guys reported Colby Jones was starting, had him starting, and then he wasn't. So the Wizards actually put out two starting lineups. This was their fault. They put out a starting lineup with Jones. We reported what they said, and then they retracted that lineup, changed it up. So sorry about that, Jose. But everyone kind of dealt with that. They did get it out before lock, so we honestly mostly leveraged the underdog NBA Twitter for news. So just keep an eye on that. Obviously, even if the lineups are always out, already out, especially this time of year, things could still change. But you definitely weren't alone on that one. And then talking to you about Anthony Black, I think we touched on him quickly. Don't want to spend too much time, but he's been shooting the ball well, which for him is kind of a revelation. Coming off the bench behind Corey Joseph, seeing a lot of usage because his minutes are kind of staggered with both Banchero and Franz to an extent. So he's been really good. Probably playing a little bit above his head, but does feel like pretty safe value. Burks just came cheap value. We'll talk about Miami in a few. Yeah, Washington's taking so much. Champagne was playing awesome. They stopped playing him only 21 minutes in. Yeah, I almost brought this up when Smitty mentioned him. It's true. He's been crushing in his first stint, and then sometimes they just aren't letting him get his run because he's playing so well. To the point we made earlier, though, like they could try tonight, they're still probably going to lose. So if he starts, I'd be comfortable, but obviously more risk in him than some of these teams that are actually still competing for playoff seeding. Excuse me, 25% Allen. Can't wait for Sam Merrill to outscore him. Yeah, man, that would absolutely suck. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Ripping through comments though, guys. Let's get into the 7:30 window here. We got the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Miami Heat. We just got word about Alec Burks, but let's start with the Atlanta side of things here. Clint Capella's out. No Jalen Johnson. No Larry Nance. Thin in the front court. Other than that, nothing too significant. Keaton Wallace, backup point guard's unavailable. But yeah, Trey looks fine here. Not a great matchup against Miami. He has been playing solid basketball though. With no Capella, I think we can go to a Kongu in spite of the difficult matchup. Yeah, the price is up and it's kind of keeping people off of him. But he's probably under owned for what he's capable of doing in terms of upside. Always fine mixing in the likes of Ricochet, Levert, even coming off the bench. Niang, always a guy that Smitty brings up. He can get hot from three on a given night. But yeah, Dyson Daniels probably the one hawk I'm getting to aggressively. Again, a little bit pricey on FanDuel, but you're getting extra points for the blocks and steals. I think he is still a little bit underpriced over on DraftKings, even in a difficult matchup. But yeah, Smitty, Atlanta kind of healthy, or at least as healthy as they've been lately. Are you getting too many Hawks?
It's mainly on DK. I'm getting to a lot of Okongwu and then Dyson Daniels. I think they're both really good. And then I do like Trey Young quite a bit. The model likes him as well, so I think he's a pretty good play. Where he's under like he's 9,400 now, which is a pretty good price. Slate,
Mhm.
we don't have like a ton of spend ups. I don't mind mixing in some Trey. This game is one of the tighter spreads, so I do like attacking it.
Yep, I'm with you, man. Over on the Miami side, we did just get some news. Power mentioned it. Alec Burks is going to be available. Duncan Robinson has been ruled out. In addition to Duncan Robinson, we have no Jovic, Kevin Love, Drew Smith. So yeah, I mean they're kind of healthy as well. I'm seeing a ton of ownership going to this team, though, and I think rightfully so. Wiggins, way too cheap on DK for his upside, in my opinion. Can play him on FanDuel, too, where he has forward eligibility of both small and power. But yeah, I don't know. I think you can make a case for pretty much any starter here. We're going to have to see what the starting lineup looks like. I think Davion Mitchell could get the nod. It could also be Alec Burks. Whichever of those two starts is going to be a core play for me. I think the other is still appealing as a tournament pivot. But again, Mitchell's been playing solid. Even Khalil Ware next to Bam has been playing solid. This team's been playing pretty well lately, at least in terms of fantasy production. I like them here. Atlanta's been one of the best matchups to attack. Smitty, are you as heavy on Miami tonight as I think I'll be?
Yeah, I am. I think it's one of the better spots on the slate. Pretty big pace up spot for them. Wiggins looks pretty solid. Khalil Ware looks good, and then Davion's probably my favorite value play. And then Hero and Bam both look pretty decent. I prefer getting to Bam. Uh, just bigs against Atlanta have been pretty solid all year. So, and then Burks, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'd want him to start. Like Davion's been playing really well. Yeah, back-to-back games around 30 fantasy points, over 30 minutes in each of his last five. That is Davion Mitchell. I think he's the safer play, even if he were to come off the bench. But Burks, I mean, he is cheap enough. If he gets in there and he's shooting well, I mean, he had a good game the other night against the Warriors, 23 points in 24 minutes. So he's capable. I just think Mitchell is kind of the floor play regardless. I'm going to have a ton of Mitchell, but in lineups without him, I don't mind maybe pivoting to Burks a little. Um, but yeah, another game we got to get to here, 8 o'clock window. Memphis Grizzlies taking on the OKC Thunder. One of the heavier totals on the board at 237.5 points. Over on the Memphis side of things, Marvin Bagley's out, Brandon Clark, John Morant is still out. Obviously, that's the most important piece of news here. No GG Jackson either. So yeah, with Ja out, we've seen Scottie Pippen kind of being the Scottie Pippen we came to love last season. He's been playing really well. Price is up on him. I still think you can get to him here. Bain and Jaren Jackson, both guys who usually see a massive boost with Ja out. Aldama is back. He's going to take up some of those minutes. He played terribly last time out. But yeah, fine with Bain, fine with Jackson, fine with Pippen. And Kennard's going to come off the bench, but he is the one bench piece I have some interest in, just knowing he could spike the ceiling. Not a good matchup, though. But the total kind of says otherwise. Smitty, are you getting to a lot of Memphis?
No, not really. Not a team I'm getting to. I think Scottie Pippen's probably my favorite option, and then I don't know. That's pretty much it. I don't mind taking a shot at Vince Williams when he's like low owned. He had a pretty good game last time out, but I don't know. I think it's all GPP plays.
Yeah, I tend to feel the same. It's tough to get excited about them against OKC, especially with the prices coming up on guys like Scotty. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Scotty's my favorite. I do think Bain and Jackson have enough upside to mix them in tournaments, but it would take me a bunch of lineups to get there. Over on the OKC side of things, I believe we're waiting on some news. Yeah, Hartenstein's in and available. Cason Wallace and Jalen Williams, who's been out, are both questionable. So this is kind of a tricky situation. If Jalen's still out, I don't mind getting to some SGA, maybe some Chet. Hartenstein, probably a little bit overpriced with Chet in there. But if Jalen's in, I don't know that I could really prioritize much. Obviously, SGA's ceiling is always tremendous. At reasonable ownership, we have the value tonight to get to him. He's probably my favorite play here. But again, if Jalen Williams comes back in, he's probably going to take a lot of that usage away. Still the same upside for SGA. We're just getting it less often. That would probably take Chet out of consideration for me, who I do like right now, but I was kind of expecting Williams to sit. Starting to seem like maybe I'm wrong on that, and he's going to be in. One last thing to touch on quickly is Cason Wallace, if he's out, probably benefits someone like Isaiah Joe. I don't think I get there either way. So yeah, like SGA, definitely a tournament flyer more than anything. If Jalen's still out, I'll get to some chat. Other than that, as much as this game looks good on paper, just not getting to a ton of these OKC Thunder. Smitty, how about you?
Yeah, I'm not either. Not really getting to anyone here. SGA would be my favorite play, of course, and then I don't know. I don't mind mixing in like Dort on FanDuel, but that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. Not a whole lot of interest.
Yep, I'm right there with you, man. Another game in the 8 o'clock window. We will get you guys in chat in just a moment. Lakers and the Bulls. Lakers, no Rui, no Maxi Cleaver. Other than that, they are entirely healthy. We'll start on the Lakers side here. Obviously, a great matchup against this Bulls defense. Been pretty terrible. LeBron is back and healthy, which does cut into Luca's upside, but Luca is still Luca. His ceiling is as high as any on the slate. If you can get to him, I think he's a good play. It's just he's low owned because it's tough to really get to him compared to some of the other payups in the 9 to 10K range. LeBron being one of them. I'm really never that interested in Reeves with both James and Doncic available. He still has the upside. I just wish that price would come down a little bit quicker. Jackson Hayes, fine as a boom bust center play. Other than that, really nothing I'm even looking at. I do want to try to get to some Luca. I think on FanDuel, especially, LeBron makes some sense. Definitely prefer Luca the two. But other than that, a tough team to get to. And in the matchup, I mean, I wish I could kind of find a path to getting more exposure. But Smitty, how are you handling the Lakers here in a really good spot?
Yeah, it is a great spot. It's really hard to get to as well. Luca and LeBron for me would be really the only two I want to play, and they're really hard to get to. LeBron's easier to get to, but um, I don't know. It's tough. I'd have to really force them in, and then it forces you to play someone like Alec Burks or something like that, which I don't want
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. And again, as more value opens up, maybe you get to Luke a bit more aggressively. But this is mostly a two-headed monster right now. Luke and LeBron are the guys we want. Reeves will look good once his price comes down a bit, but not there for me right now. Over on the Bulls side of things, Lonzo Ball, who's been out, is questionable. Josh Giddey is actually questionable as well. No Ayo Dosunmu. Vuk, questionable. This is all news to me. Kobe White is listed as probable. Um, I mean, assuming this team's fully healthy, everything's kind of overpriced. Giddy's been playing tremendously, but if Lonzo is back tonight, that could cut into his minutes. I still think Giddy's going to be the best play here, regardless. If Giddy's out, Kobe White becomes a tremendous option, even where he's priced in the 8K range. If Vooch is out, though, then we really need to talk about who's going to play center. Thinking it's Jalen Smith. They also have Zach Collins. We've actually seen Collins get more starts with Vooch out, so something to keep an eye on. I'm thinking Vooch just plays. But again, if he doesn't, whoever ends up starting at center is going to be very appealing. Herter is fine where he's priced. Guzell is very much boomer bust, low floor but a high ceiling. You can mix him in to tournaments, but just a tough team to really speak on too much until we get more of this news. Smitty, you got any hunches? Have you heard anything about shoot around for the Bulls? And kind of regardless, just how are you prioritizing them here?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I kind of assume Lonzo's going to stay out. And then I don't know about well, White's probable. I'm not sure about Giddy or Vooch. I'm kind of just assuming that they play with this close of a spread. It seems like they're both in, but yeah, it's a tough team to get to. Kind of like the Lakers. Like this is a really good game, but they're pretty tough to get to. Would prefer Giddy, but it's also kind of tough to get there. I don't mind getting to like Kobe White. Right now, Matos is my highest exposed, but it's not really much. Like I'm not really getting to this team.
I'm with you, man. Yeah, and one name I think we have to bring up because he is very popular is Dalen Terry coming off the bench. 3 straight games over 20 fantasy points. 5 of his last 6 played over 20 fantasy points, and he is near minimum price. So we're talking about Alec Burks as a potential play, more so if he starts. But Terry off the bench seems to be where the field wants to go if they're playing anyone close to minimum price. I don't know. I'd feel better if we knew, I don't know, 2 of those 4 guys that are listed as questionable are out, even with Ball being one of them. If all 4 are in, I don't know that I could get here at this ownership. But Smitty, any interest in Dalen Terry?
No, a lot of people would have to be out for me to play him. He's not even in my pool.
Yeah, I was surprised by the ownership, and then I saw what he'd been doing lately, and I mean, I guess I kind of understand it, but at the same time, it's just tough to really feel great about something that I don't know hasn't really been a thing for most of his career. Moving into actually, before we go into the next game, I will try to get caught up on chat. I'm going to give you this one, Smitty: Champagne or Naismith? I'm guessing it's Wizard Champagne, Jose.
Champagne if he starts, but if
Yeah.
he comes off the bench, then Naismith.
Yeah, Merrill Cavs, Ben Jizzy, very high ceiling but a very low floor. Um, he's fine. He's just boomer bust. Think Alec Burks, think Dylan Terry. He's kind of that type of play. Any disagreement on that, Smitty? Do you like Merrill at all?
No, he's fine.
Mike, good question. For me, it's a no, just because Caruso, even with guys out, just hasn't been playing significant minutes. He's kind of capped around 24. So that's a no for me. Can't play Bam. I get it. He's burned a lot of people this season. It is a good spot for him. Amir, to answer this quickly, I'll say if Mitchell starts, it's Mitchell. I think I trust Black a little bit more coming off the bench. Mitchell probably the higher ceiling. It's tough. Do you have a strong lean here, Smitty? I'm slightly preferring Mitchell, but they're both good plays, I think, as far as value goes.
Yeah, I think they're both pretty solid. I lean Mitchell though.
Yeah. Yep, definitely keep an eye on starting lineups, Amir, but definitely going to leave Mitchell for now. Both. Triple J from Memphis is overdue. Yes, indeed, Unicorn. I don't believe that guys being due is a thing, but with Jaw out, you'd think a big game was coming. Top two studs, would you pair together in a lineup? Who are your favorite payups tonight, Smitty?
Um, let's see. It's kind of different. For me, it's Bam, and I'm getting to the most of Bam and Hero at the expensive range.
Okay,
I wouldn't
yeah.
pair them together, but
Yeah, you definitely would want to pair them. I mean, you could run it back with Trey if you go with one of those
yeah,
two. I
I
think
like
that makes sense.
Okongwu if you consider that a spend.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the big three for Atlanta, quote unquote, big three: Okongwu, Trey, and Daniels. I mean, pairing one of them with Miami guy looks pretty good to me. I'll say I really do like Luka if you can get to him. This matchup is pretty damn soft, and the spread's close enough that I think he could have a massive, massive night. I do like the Trey call, and if you want to consider Jared Allen a pay up, I do think he's one of the bigger priorities north of 6K. Put me in the game, coach. Lots of bulls. Bullshit is coming. Yeah, keep an eye on the news, man. We are really waiting on 4 Q tags, so things could definitely change. Last man in from James, Dorian Finney-Smith. Finney-Smith's a good defender. He pairs well with these starters. He's actually been shooting the ball better lately. I'll say yes, you can do it. Smitty, I don't know. I'm sure you're not bullish on him, but any love for DFS?
Yeah, this is the last man in.
Yep. Yep. Kind of like a Harrison Barnes type. He's been harder lately. Yeah, Smitty's brain knows. Nick, this time of year is a bunch of malarkey. I said that to myself in Smitty's voice. Isn't Dalen Terry and Kobe Jones the same player, basically? I mean, Terry's been around. Jones is kind of a new, shiny toy. So I think we have a little bit more hope for Jones, but yeah, similar enough, Jose. That's not a bad comparison. Getting into what is, I think we're through the DK games now. So okay, so we're through DK. So we got 2 games over on FanDuel. We'll get through them quickly. Smitty's on double duty today, and then we'll do a quick dummy build for you guys before we get out of here. We talked about the Grizz and the Thunder, right? Okay, so Rockets taking on the Utah Jazz. They are in Utah, 227.5 point total, starting with Houston. Steven Adams is questionable. David Roddy is out. Eamon Thompson is questionable. So that's obviously significant. I don't think they need him here. They could probably beat this team without him. He's been kind of banged up. I'm kind of leaning he sits. If he's in, I don't know that I get to a ton from Houston. If he's out, though, that's going to be a big boost for Jalen Green. On a slate where we're kind of lacking payups at center, I do think Sengun makes a lot of sense. Kind of shocked by the ownership on Dylan Brooks, but he's like the king of the last men in, right? We got DFS, we got Harrison Barnes, we got Champagne, we got all these guys. They play power forward. Some nights they're good, some nights they're not. Brooks is like the king of that group, in my opinion. He's very popular, though. There's plenty of pivots. Keep an eye on the starting lineup. There is a world where Eason gets the nod if Thompson is out, in which case I think he'd be very appealing. But as it stands, if this team's healthy, nothing I'm prioritizing. Don't mind Brooks is again the last piece in. Sengun, plenty of upside. I mean, you can make a case for Thompson himself if he's available. But if he's out, yeah, I think all the starters are going to look good here. Smitty, if you're on FanDuel, would you be getting too much Houston tonight?
Yeah, I like that reference, but for me, I think Jalen Green is my favorite here, and then you get the added bonuses if Amon Thompson's out. He looks even better, so I think he's a really strong play. And then same with Dylan Brooks. He looks good either way, but he looks even better if Amon Thompson's out. Just more to go around. As for the rest of the team, I'm not really getting there currently. Like some of them are okay to get to. Tari Eason would be pretty interesting though if we do get Amon out.
Yep, right there with you, man. Over on the Utah side of things, we got another team that is kind of pseudo tanking. They're tanking, trying to pretend they aren't. But we got Jordan Clarkson, John Collins both out. Laurie Markkinen is out as well. Jashibwe is back down with the G League. I don't think there's much else significant to speak through. Walker Kessler doesn't look bad here. He's flashed some upside even in limited minutes. Don't mind getting to him. This guard rotation is somewhat healthy. No Clarkson, but they do have Sexton, Collier, and George. So it's really tough for me to sit here and say I want to play any of these guys. I don't know. Just not a team I'm really eager to get much of, Smitty. You get into any of Utah.
No, for me, it's mainly Walker Kessler. I think's interesting, and then Colin Sexton as a GPP play. But no one else I'm really interested in.
Yep, yep. We did just get word the Cavs are starting Garland, Mitchell, Struess, Wade, and Allen. So no Hunter in the starting lineup. Interestingly enough, definitely downgrades his upside in my opinion. Not rushing to get to Dean Wade though. I will say that. On the other side of this game, we are done with this game. Okay, so one more game here. All in the FanDuel slate. We got the Portland Trailblazers taking on the Sacramento Kings. Trailblazers, no Aiton, no Grant, no Williams. Kamara is questionable. Definitely something worth keeping an eye on. A guy who plays a ton of minutes. But yeah, man, Denny has flashed massive upside lately. I do think he's kind of appealing here. For his price, maybe one of the riskier plays, but at the same time, the ceiling's there at low ownership. I think he's worth playing. Shady on Sharp going to continue to start as long as Jeremy Grant isn't available. Both he and Simons are fine. Very much boomer bust, though. Again, I think Denny is definitely the best play from these starters, but you can make a case for some of the others. And then Donovan Clingan, very much inconsistent, but coming off a great game against Cleveland, where he had 46 fantasy points. I kind of like Clingan here. I'm a little bit surprised he's not getting more love. I know you can only play one center on FanDuel, but I would make a case for him. Other than that, not much. If Kamara's in, he's fine. If he's out, maybe we see a little bit more Scoot Henderson. But yeah, I think Denny's the play here. Don't mind some Clingan in tournaments. Smitty, how are you handling the Trailblazers?
Yeah, pretty similar. And then Tumani, I like if he's in. If he's out, then I would lean Scoot probably starts, and he would look okay on FanDuel. Other than that, it's pretty tough to get to this team. They're mainly just GPP plays, but I don't hate the shout at Klingon at all. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind him. Again, it's the way to get different. If you're building for late and the news doesn't go your way, he's someone you could kind of use in a two for two. Sacramento, we are looking at no Mason Jones, no Jake LaRavia. Malik Monk is questionable. So I think Monk's going to play. If he's out, we could see Keon Ellis, slide in the starting lineup, in which case he'd become appealing. But assuming this team's healthy, they're all kind of priced where they should be. I think DeRozan does stand out as having the most upside just because he is a little bit cheaper, than the others. But yeah, man, again, just a team that looks okay. They're just healthier than they have been lately. Tough for me to really find anything to prioritize. I do think Sabonis is somewhat interesting. He played 38 minutes against OKC. No more minutes cap or anything like that on him. So at reasonable ownership, he has forward eligibility on FanDuel. I think you could get to him. But Smitty, how are you going to handle these Sacramento Kings?
Yeah, I don't really love anything here. Sabonis is my favorite play. That's who I'm getting the most of. I guess I like him, but that's pretty much it. I don't really plan on getting to anybody else from the Kings.
Nice, man. I'm with you. All right, let's do a quick refresh of the model, quick dummy build. Before that, I'll get to chat, and then we'll try to get out of here.
You Yanks are
Uh,
about to blow it, man.
are they? Great.
Top nine, it's
What's
close.
the top? What's the score?
4-2. The Brewers have runners on first and third, one out.
God, is Williams in against his former team? God, I can't believe I'm missing this.
Yep, he's in. Churio's up.
Wow. Okay, so talk about drama. Williams against his former team, trying to lock it down for the save. But I'll pretend that's not happening. Let's go to DK Main. Um, sorted by
Indeed
ownership.
not.
I mean, I do like Wiggins, Davion Mitchell. Throw some names at me, man. I think if AJ Johnson starts, he's really solid. I'm not 100% sure he will, though. So, yeah,
Yeah.
where are we starting at on DK?
For me, I mean, I'm cool with the Wiggins. I think that's pretty good. I like Davion,
Yep.
and then I'm pretty into Sar.
Sorry. I like that. And I think it is probably a two center night tonight. And one I do want to get to on DK is going to be Jared Allen with Mobley out. I just think 6,800 is too cheap. All right, so we're starting to get somewhere. Probably more of a balanced build, honestly. I don't know that we're going to get too boomer bust. What other mid range plays are we looking at?
Yeah, I like. I don't mind going to. Gosh, I don't know. Anthony Black. I
Yeah,
guess
I
I
think
don't
we're going to
know.
go to
Then
Black.
we're kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gross, man. This slate sucks. We got Black. We got, I mean, there's just not enough value. There actually are guys to pay up for, so it's tricky.
Yeah, it's
Um,
tough.
I mean, Struce is someone we could maybe use. Let's say Johnson starts. I think he's gonna kind of be a core type play. So now we can pay
Got
up
it.
at power. What?
Giddy and Vooch are officially in.
Okay, that's good news. That makes it a
Yeah.
little bit easier. I mean, we could go LeBron. We could go Bancaro.
Yeah. Paolo's getting more
Bam.
ownership. I prefer LeBron, but
Yeah.
I like Bam. Bam's
You know
pretty
what?
good.
I do too. Let's go with Bam and see what that leaves us with. 97. We're 200 short. Okay. We don't have to play Allen. Let's go Bam and LeBron. And ugh, come on, guys.
Uh-oh.
What do you do?
It's not loading right now. I don't know why.
Oh, God. In play runs. That's, haven't missed hearing that. All right. So we're level
Yelich.
60.
Yelich. Yelich is up.
God. We got Pool here playing limited minutes. I'm not crazy about it. We, I'm dying, man. I think we go Pippin if we're stuck at 6K, right?
Yeah. Or yeah, we already
I
have
mean,
Bam, so I don't really
yeah,
like going Bam and Ware together, but I do like Ware.
yeah, I agree. That's kind of too much, but yeah, if we come off LeBron, we could maybe move Bam there, maybe fit Luca. There's a few different ways to go, but again, keep an eye on the lineup, especially the Wizards. If AJ Johnson doesn't start, it's going to be a little bit dicey. But yeah, Yelich is hard going to hit a homer, dude. I don't know. Let's get out of here before I have to kill myself on stream. Much love, everyone. Appreciate you all tuning in. Again, get in the Discord, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Keep an eye on those lineups, injury news. This time of year in NBA is absolute chaos. But yeah, sign up today. You also get access. Smitty and I do the MLB plug every day, which is an article to help you guys build your lineups. Long MLB season ahead, and we still got a few weeks of NBA to grind through. So appreciate you guys all being here. Let's crush it tonight. See you at the top of the leaderboard.